me is a huge expanse of water that is Lake Tahoe, an area of stunning natural beauty, rich in history and steeped in mystery. It's also home to one of the most terrifying places that Chris and I have ever visited, the Thunderbird Lodge.
6 months ago, in the depths of winter, we came here to investigate possible paranormal activity associated with Frank Sinatra. Now, we didn't find Frank, but what we did find has drawn us back.
Whilst investigating Thunderbird Lodge, Chris had felt a wide range of sensations and emotions, noticeably in the tunnel area, the bedrooms, and most significantly, in the boathouse.
I'm having a feeling of get the hell out of here.
You what?
I'm having a feeling it does not want me here.
The paranormal got physical with Chris by the safe in the main house.
Is there anything?
But it was the EVP that we picked up in the boathouse that disturbed us the most.
Hello? We are going to spend the night at the Thunderbird Lodge to see if the energies that we came across last time are going to make their presence felt again.
Thunderbird Lodge is isolated on the banks of Lake Tahoe, an area rich with alleged paranormal activity. If we're going to make it through the night, we're going to have to be awake, alert, and prepared.
We journeyed towards Thunderbird Lodge. Despite the warmth of the late afternoon sun as we passed the gatehouse, my anxiety increased. Thousands of visitors come every year to admire the eccentric architecture, the fascinating history, and the stunning views that the lodge enjoys. As the evening draws in, the visitors leave. But our investigation into the ghosts, spirits, and energy in the lodge had only just begun.
You ready to do this?
Yep, we have a full night ahead of us.
All right.
We collected our equipment, little knowing that it would be no protection for what lay ahead.
Is there anyone here?
Make him go away! There's like an arm.
They tried to grab me. Did you hear that?
Stabbing me in the back. This looks like her hair. Is this Gail's hair? There's stuff everywhere here.
What do you want here?
It's all around us.
Waiting to greet us was Mary Ellen Houston, a tour guide at the lodge.
Welcome back to the Thunderbird Lodge.
Good to see you again, Mary Ellen.
This unusual and beautiful estate was the brainchild and home of one man, a millionaire playboy named George Whitell, who lived here with his long-suffering wife.
George Whitell was one of the American legends. He lived a life that most people thought was only in the movies.
George Whitell was very rich, and that wealth did not necessarily make him a better person. The grandson of two enormous gold rush era fortunes, he ended up being something of a spoiled brat as a result of all that money. George Whitell made a commitment in his life never to work, and really did everything he could to live a wild life of leisure and debauchery.
He would usually sleep all day, get up and start gambling and party all night.
He loved technology and speed, so he bought the fastest cars and the fastest speedboats. So he was just a bad boy all around.
He led a life that most men would die for.
As he became older, he became more reclusive. He also found that he liked animals far more than people. One of his favorites was Bill the lion, who he raised from a cub.
He had a knack, even with wild animals, that I've never seen anybody else be able to do those type of things.
Those who were close to him and liked him said he was exceedingly generous, but he was also imperious, and he could be pretty harsh and dismissive of people. Whitell did one brilliant thing in his business career, and that was to sell all of his stocks in 1929. And this gave him roughly $50 million in cash. He ended up with a remarkable opportunity to purchase the Nevada side of Lake Tahoe. The only thing George Whitell did was to decide to build a cottage where he could retreat and enjoy his life of reclusion and debauchery in the proper doses as he saw fit.
That retreat was to become the estate that is now the Thunderbird Lodge, complete with lagoon, card house and a 600-foot tunnel that led to the boathouse.
Thunderbird Lodge is probably one of the most mysterious, unique and eclectic buildings and compounds at Lake Tahoe.
I think that Thunderbird Lodge has a certain magic to it and a truly remarkable piece of architecture.
On our previous investigation, Chris had allegedly been attacked by an unknown force at the safe adjacent to Mrs. Whittell's bedroom.
Chris. What? Check out the safe.
Safe?
Right there.
Safe's open.
We opened it.
Is there anything?
Chris wanted to set up a trigger experiment in the area to see if we could capture anything on film.
What I'm going to do is a little experiment here, right? I got a piece of chalk and I got a cross. I'm going to draw a line around it.
Right.
Okay, and we're going to see that whatever is here, if it's going to make this object move. Nothing more than feelings.
And how are you feeling in there now?
I'm feeling very panicky and claustrophobic.
We were not alone on our journey into the unknown. I had arranged for a small team of paranormal investigators to join us. Janice Oberding is a parapsychologist who's visited the lodge many times before. And Tom and Lisa Butler, who run the American Association of EVPs, were keen to gather more evidence that this place was indeed haunted. I had also invited renowned psychic Linda Wolfe to join us. Would she pick up the same things that Chris did? Mary Ellen and I went with Janice to see where she had experienced other unexplained phenomena.
So this is the boathouse again. So what experiences have you had here?
I felt that there's something in here, and we've taken photos. I brought a group in here, and we took photos, and we got a lot of orbs. I've seen a psychic walk down this way and said she saw a woman either pushed or jumped into the water. And then I know that one news crew came here last Halloween, and they recorded sound like Native American chanting. They left the recorders going all night long.
And a lion roaring. Remember that?
That's right, the lion roaring.
Really?
Yes, the lion roaring.
And where else did you get any specific feelings or?
In the pool, over by the pool house, and at the stairs, mostly, and a little in the tunnel.
Do you want to take a look at the pool house?
Okay.
Go back there?
Sure.
Well, last time that we came here, we didn't really spend any time at all at this pool area because we spent most of our time at the boathouse. So I don't know much about it. Now, I know that you've had experiences here, as you said before. What happened to you?
We got EVP. There was water dripping in here before, and the voices seemed to be mixing with the water that was dripping. We couldn't discern what they were saying.
So it was as if they were answering you?
Yes.
Okay. What is the history of this pool room?
Well, initially this was a boathouse for George Whittell's boat. And when George ordered a bigger boat, he built a bigger boathouse where we've been and decided to turn this room into a swimming pool. Well, during the course of construction, a worker fell off that ladder that's laying at the bottom of the pool right now, broke his neck and died. And George Whittell was superstitious and did not want to be swimming in a place where a man had died. So he actually sealed the whole room off.
Just left it?
And left it.
The last place on our tour was a flight of stairs leading from the main house to the servants' quarters.
I know that you said you found it quite active here.
Yes.
What EVP did you get?
Tom and Lisa got EVP, and the voice was saying hidden morphine.
Hidden morphine, hidden morphine.
Did George use morphine?
And he did use morphine, yes.
I wonder if he would have hidden some somewhere.
Well, we wonder too.
Outside, Chris had gathered together the team of paranormal investigators.
All right, here we are outside of Thunderbird Lodge, about to go in here and spend the night. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I'm not real excited because we've been here before and I think it's a scary place.
Really?
Yes.
Why's that?
Well, it's lucky that with EVP you can't hear it until you get home.
So Linda, tell me, before we go in there, have you sensed anything outside here?
There isn't any part of this property that doesn't have some kind of entity moving around on it.
So we're surrounded.
We're surrounded. We are.
Just think, with all our abilities and our experiences, if we put our uses together, we're going to get something.
The sun was setting and the tranquility of the lake was now eerie with ominous silence. But this was the quiet before the storm, as we were about to find out.
It's like right here.
They tried to grab me.
Did you hear that?
We can go away.
Listen, I don't care who you are or what you think you are.
Mark Twain once said that Lake Tahoe must surely be the fairest picture the whole world affords. Wooden chalets dot the shoreline. The serenity of the lake is a haven for wildlife and tourists alike. But one area of the lake is not so tranquil. The one place that ghost hunters for miles around come to explore. Thunderbird Lodge. We were joined on our investigation by Tom and Lisa Butler from the American Association of EVPs, parapsychologist Janice Oberding, psychic Linda Wolfe, and Mary Ellen Houston from the lodge. It was 9 p.m. We were isolated on the banks of the lake. It was hard to believe a region so beautiful had also inspired stories of mystery and horror. The land surrounding the lodge is steeped in a bloody history.
One of the more notorious stories of this area, of course, is the Donner Party, who were going to California in 1846 and were caught by a sudden snowstorm.
The snow was falling so fast, it was too difficult to get back to where they had started, so they had to stop here. They weren't equipped, they didn't have the proper clothing for such, they didn't have enough food. And as the days turned into weeks, they were forced to start eating whatever they could. They were boiling their moccasins, they were boiling any leather goods they had. Their cattle had already starved and frozen. When they ran out of everything else, people started dying. And as people started dying, they eventually started cannibalizing the dead. The cannibalism lasted probably 4 months. Legend has it that at least 15 people were eaten by others. One man describes children eating their dead father's heart. It was very gruesome. Another man describes a human arm laying in the cabin, and most of that occurred right here. This is where the cannibalism actually occurred, in this spot.
Gail, come here. Okay, this is our arsenal. I've got a 35mm camera there. I've got 2 tape players. One of them is digital, which eliminates a lot of the hissing sound you get with a microcassette tape. And then I've got here the thermal scanner to pick up any cold spots. And then we got the EMF detector for maybe if we feel any electromagnetic disturbances. With this camera, we can kind of film each other too. There might be any orbs or anything that surrounds us.
Okay.
And then we've got, as you guys call, torches. We got a lot of stuff to use here. I got 2 hands. So we'll take a bit of it,
okay,
maybe use some of it later. You really want to do this?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
All right.
It'll be fine.
We headed down the narrow tunnels that led towards the boathouse. I felt anxious. 6 months ago, the paranormal activity we picked up seemed to have been directed at me. And I wasn't sure that whatever was down there would welcome me back.
Hello? Hi? Is there anybody there? Can we get out now? Can we get out now? Right, I've had enough. Come on. You hear those voices?
Yeah, in the waves.
I heard the water say, get out.
Who's here? What is your name? Let's go down here.
Okay.
Okay? We'll lead the way.
Close to the side, don't go too close to the water.
All right.
I'm having trouble breathing.
Yeah. Would you guys mind turning the lights out?
Someone died
Yes, yes.
right within this vicinity.
Temperature has dropped. The temperature has dropped in here. But there's something over here. This is where I kind of freaked out last time I was here. All right, I'm going.
You okay?
I'm having a feeling of get the hell out of here.
You what?
I'm having a feeling it does not want me here. It's telling me to go. Get out.
Yeah.
I don't think it likes men.
Maybe it's a woman then. Maybe it is a woman.
Whatever it is, I'm not staying back there. It's like right here, whatever it is. Well, it's got to be somebody.
It's somebody.
Do not consider me a threat.
They want us gone.
What is it you're so protective of?
It's a man. It's a man.
I just felt like, don't come over here.
Did you hear that? Yes. What the hell was that? What was that?
I want another sign. I want something more concrete.
Hear it?
Yeah, it's not. That's not good enough. Something happened right here.
It feels like I'm suffocating in my own vomit.
Okay. I'm sensing that the person was maybe drugged. Okay, maybe it was the morphine that they talk about. They were injected with morphine. I'm sensing that it was female. Okay, so now I'm getting pressure that's pushing me down.
Definitely
it's pushing me
female.
down.
There's a man right here.
Yeah. Did he throw her in the water then?
Yes.
To make it look like a drowning?
Yes, definitely.
That's what I picked up. It was no accident. She was murdered.
She was murdered. Oh, my left arm is going completely numb.
Yeah, you're going through what I went through. You'll be okay. Tell me, what are you seeing? How many people around you?
Oh, 3.
3 males?
3 men.
3 men. Okay. Why are they doing this to you?
One has a knife.
Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this?
Make him go away.
All right, there's a lot of cold now. There's like a change in temperature behind me, which means that there's something standing behind me.
He's just stabbing you in the back.
I get it. Come on.
Chris and Linda later claimed that they were being attacked by knife-wielding spirits.
I just felt her. I felt her take my body. Has it happened before?
No. 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 I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here.
Okay, Katie, do you want to sit you out of here?
Oh, God. Oh, that room scares me.
Come on, it's okay, I'm here. Come on, I know it's cold, come on. Keep it together, keep it together.
There's someone waiting.
It's okay, no one's waiting for you, I swear. It's just me, I'm going to make sure you're fine, don't worry. Okay? Deep breaths, deep breaths.
Oh, my God.
Come on. Come on.
Okay, come
Fine,
on.
fine.
All right, hang on. Give it to me for a second. Hang on. Out now, whatever you are. Out. You're out.
I promise you, there's nothing here that can hurt you. Okay? There's nothing here that can hurt you.
I'm pissed off. The farther she gets away from her, the better she's going to be. Because of the traumatic experience that happened, it's considered place memory. It has a certain radius that energy maintains. The farther you get away from her, the less strong it is. It's weaker. So the farther she gets, she's going to be fine. But I want to go back there because I'm mad.
Maybe she's getting out. Maybe you've helped her. Do you feel like she's getting out? You see? She's gone. What happened back there when you screamed? What was that?
They tried to grab me.
The same men that were down in the boathouse.
They were trying to pull me back.
But they've got to punish you. You're stronger than all of that.
All right, listen to me. I don't care who you are or what you think you are. But what happened here is the past. It is over. It is done. What you have just done to her is not right, and it is never going to happen again. You cannot stay in this place anymore. You are not allowed to stay here. You should not stay here. You are dead.
Finally. You scared the shit out of me. That's for fucking sure.
The person you just messed with is a psychic, a real living person. You have no right to jeopardize that person's existence at this time frame. She is not related to this incident. None of us are related to this incident. And now I'm getting sick and tired of you playing these games. We're trying to scare me and trying to scare her.
What happened? Oh. Whoa. I don't remember this at all. None of this looks familiar to me. Oh.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Chris wouldn't have to wait too long for an answer, because whoever or whatever lurked in the shadows of the lodge was about to give us a sign.
It's such a horrible way to die. It's such a horrible way.
Is there anyone here?
There's like an arm.
We're all hanging around outside.
Is this Gail's hair? This looks like her hair.
There's so many noises coming out of there now.
What do you want?
6 months ago, we visited Thunderbird Lodge searching for the spirit of Frank Sinatra. Tonight, we had returned to spend the night conducting further investigations into the alleged paranormal activity that surrounded the house. Darkness had crept upon us, and strange events had already shaken everyone present. Whilst investigating the boathouse, both Linda and Chris had allegedly been attacked by knife-wielding spirits, desperate to scare them away. Whilst leading a distressed Linda to comparative safety, she believed that these spirits were still after her.
Oh my God.
Chris was now angry. I didn't know what to think.
All right, listen to me. I don't care who you are or what you think you are.
We met up again in the boathouse to discuss where we could go from here. And then I heard a strange noise coming towards me down the corridor.
Fucking hell, you put the shits up me again, man. What's wrong? Fuck. You sure you're alright?
I wasn't staying there alone.
Linda, do you feel the same energy here now?
No. That point when she entered my body, to the point when Chris exorcised her from my body, I have no recollection of what transpired. She needed to get out of the boathouse so that she could be set free.
Do you think, after everything that's happened, that the female spirit that entered you is now free from here completely?
Yes.
So she's gone?
She's gone.
The team split up to investigate different areas. Tom and Lisa went to the boiler room, Mary Ellen and I went to the dungeon, and Chris was drawn along the corridor and up a winding staircase to the card house.
All right, we just had some dramatic happenings in the boathouse. What I need to do is just spend some time alone, see if I can make any contact with any other remaining spirits that may be here.
It was built maybe to store dynamite, might have been one of the reasons, but a lot of people did get locked in here. Like if they passed out drunk at a card game, George would have them thrown in here and locked, and it just so happens that Bill the Lion loves these nice cool tunnels, and he loved it in there also. So if you did get thrown in there drunk, you'd wake up with Bill the Lion licking your face, maybe.
So many voices.
This is the room that they have the boiler in now for the swimming pool that was never finished. We know that the entities like to go places and stay where they're not as often disturbed. So this should be a very good place to be able to get a recording.
All right, I'm starting to feel something coming forward, but I can't. I don't recognize it yet. It's kind of hesitant. Oh, man. All right. I was just reaching for my hand.
It's going crazy in there. Can you hear it? I know. It does that sometimes, doesn't it? Remember it did that last time. It went crazy. So many noises coming out of there now. It's like everything's all stirred up in there. The waves were making such a noise that we just had to return once again to the boathouse. Now it's so quiet. Look how stirred up the boat is. Now it's all mellow and quiet. It's nothing like it was when we were up there. It's like they wait for us to go.
Can you tell us your name? Why are you here?
No EVPs were picked up in the boiler room. I returned to the house to find Linda. Mary Ellen went to collect Chris from the card house, where the janitor had made a startling discovery.
Where'd you find that?
I've never seen this before.
Where'd you find that?
It was just sitting right here on the rail.
Was it ever there before?
No. I know this place inside and out.
Is this Linda's hair? This looks like her hair. It's not your hair, is this Gail's hair? This might be Linda's hair.
Let's go see if she's missing some hair.
Yeah, let me grab my stuff.
Linda, it's the early hours of the morning now. It's been quite an eventful night for you. How are you feeling? Are you okay?
I feel exhausted, completely disoriented.
I have something to show you. Mary Ellen and Skip were coming up the stairs, and Skip found something that was on the railing right there, and he says, you know, what is this? Because he'd just been up there not too long earlier and there was nothing there. He found strands of hair. Is that yours, Gail, or is that yours, Linda?
It's definitely human hair, isn't it?
Because this was left as a sign on the railing. It looks like yours, Gail.
That's your hair.
Yeah, that's your hair, Gail.
That was definitely my hair, but I've no idea how it ended up on a staircase that I hadn't visited.
This is what I'm piecing together, that it took either one of your hair, okay, as a sign that it's being very protective of this place, okay? Right. Now remember, Indians, I don't know if that's related or not, used to take hair.
There's tons of Indian spirits around here.
Scalping has long been considered an Indian tradition, and Lake Tahoe is an area rich in Native American history.
Lake Tahoe, of course, is the core, the home of the Washoe tribe.
This was the center of their universe, and in all their oral history and all their legends, they talk about the Washoe being here from the beginning of time.
They are Lake Tahoe.
When the first settlers arrived in this area, they were not necessarily very nice to the Washoe Indians and pushed them away and ejected them from their land.
As anybody would, being treated the way the Washoe was, there is obviously handed down of those generations a certain resentment toward the white man.
It wasn't so much that the Washoe Indians were angry, but that they were saddened by the whole experience. The Washoe regarded the Tahoe Basin as a center of spiritual energy. There are some places that call one's attention to that energy more than others, and a place like Cave Rock is like that.
You know, to them it's known as De'eh Wakapush, which means the great standing rock. And so for them, that natural formation is a power source, and in some way channels the powers of the lake that can be used for good.
Yeah, they believe that there are spirits that do inhabit Cave Rock, and that it is a place of certain power.
Cave Rock certainly has cultural significance for the Washoe tribe, and it's not alone in this area of Lake Tahoe. Thunderbird Lodge was built by the Washoe for George Whittell.
The Thunderbird Lodge, the site itself has a very interesting connection with the Washoe. When you go through the tunnel that is underneath the place, there is part of the legend that the Nasunge, the water babies, actually had a tunnel that they would travel between Carson Valley, Washoe Valley, and Lake Tahoe. So there is a lot of characteristics that were incorporated into the Thunderbird Lodge that tie very closely to the Washoe legends, and whether that is a coincidence, I don't think so.
Our night wasn't over. The early hours of the morning would bring Chris into contact with a variety of spirits, and not just human ones.
Her body is like mangled. I said something here. Someone hold me, seriously, hold me. Oh.
We had revisited the beautiful area of Lake Tahoe to investigate the paranormal activity in the dark corridors and eerie shadows of the Thunderbird Lodge. Once a home to eccentric playboy millionaire named George Whittell, it is now rumoured to harbour forces much less inclined to partying, unidentified spirits, paranormal activity and energies for which there's no rational explanation. It was 2:30 in the morning. Chris and I met up to discuss how the investigation had gone so far.
So what happened in the boathouse with you and Linda and my hair and... I'm just freaked out. I knew you should have come back.
Do you know how I tend to pick up place memory when someone had a traumatic experience or someone has passed away? Well, that's what happened there. It slipped out of me and went into Linda.
And she said she's never really had anything like that before. That's just weird.
Well, it was kind of freaky, her being a psychic and all the way she responded to this, and she was terrified.
Oh my God.
What's happening?
And then the hair thing.
Now that's something I haven't seen before. I'm wondering if that was a sign saying, hey, you know, don't mess with me, I'm a pretty strong entity.
I don't know what to think. I really didn't, honestly.
This looks like her hair. Is this Gail's hair? Looks like yours, Gail.
That's your
Yeah,
hair.
that's your hair, Gail. So since we already had a lot of drama happen, what are we going to do next?
I think, and I know it's cold, but I think it'd be worth us doing it outside because we've never really investigated the outside before. And it's quite spooky before the sun starts coming up. Yeah?
All right.
Make it go away. I don't like being outside.
Something very sad. Oh my God. Oh. Someone got attacked right here.
Attacked?
It's true.
When?
Back in like the 1940s.
What happened?
He was attacked by a bear.
When he was born, the dragon. Yes.
It's like everywhere. It's like blood everywhere. Something doing this.
Yeah.
Just something big. It's like a dog or anything attacked someone here, or something like chewing, biting. There's like an arm laying here, like body parts. Our body is like mangled. What?
I want to go in.
It's right here. This is where it happened.
That's exactly right.
What happened here?
This is an incinerator, and they used to burn all of the trash here. The cook was bringing trash out to be burned in the incinerator, and he was mauled by a bear. And he was killed.
And there's still bears now?
Yes.
We're all hanging around outside?
Oh, they're afraid of us now, but he had trash in his hands, and somehow the bear attacked him and killed him. You're exactly right.
It's such a horrible way to die, such a horrible way. I felt like he was just trying to cover himself like this, but it was just, I don't want to stay here. This isn't right. That's not right.
While Chris had been channeling the emotions of the lodge's dead cook, Janice and the rest of the team had been investigating the lagoon area at the front of the house. They felt that the area was heavy with malevolent paranormal energy. Chris was emotionally exhausted, but followed Janice down to the waterfront to investigate.
The dog is picking up some residue that is left over from the entity that was here. He's sensing that someone was recently here. Where'd he go, Jasper? See, he's looking for it. He's trying to figure out where it went to. Because like Linda said, we're just surrounded by spirits. They're everywhere on this place. There was something here, but it's not here now. It's malevolent. Whoa! Oh, shit! Someone hold me. Seriously, hold me.
Hello, me. Now, what do you want here? Why do you stay in this place? What is it you want from me? Why?
Chris fell down, he expelled like a smoke. So I went to see if it was just cold and it was his breath, but it wasn't.
What just happened?
It seemed like George Whittle. It seemed like George Whittle was speaking through you, to me.
Back at the safe, it seems we'll never know if our experiment was a success. In the early hours of the morning, Jasper, the Thunderbird Lodge dog, moved the camera. We were disappointed, but the sharp chill of the early morning sun signalled one more task for Chris and myself. We had to return to the boathouse to see if the alleged paranormal energy had at last dispersed.
You guys ready to go back in there? One last time?
Yes.
Okay, right, let's go. We're back. It's me, Gail, and Mary Ellen.
Hello.
Hi.
Are there any spirits still here? If there are, that we want you to talk to us.
What is it? What is it?
No, I sense something here. Do you feel anything?
Yeah, I do.
What do you feel?
I just feel chills in my body.
I want to go back to that one spot where all the trauma occurred. Who are you? All right, I think the last thing that occurred here was some happiness. This is where she drowned, right here. Dog's picking it up. But I think she left.
Jasper?
She's happy. If there are any spirits here, speak to us through the water if you have to. We want to hear your voice.
The water's a lot more peaceful than it usually is.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot more peaceful in here. How do you feel, Gail?
Nothing.
Feel peaceful?
Yeah.
So do I. I think our job's done.
Come on then.
On the surface, everything seemed calm, but when replaying the footage, it appeared that we were not as alone as we'd thought. Dawn broke, and with it came the protection of daylight. We left the lodge, glad to escape unscathed from the apparent maelstrom of paranormal activity that inhabited this corner of Lake Tahoe.
Thunderbird Lodge would be the first or second most haunted place that I have visited. The amount of spirit energy there is huge.
Well, the power of suggestion is a very strong thing. For example, if you take two locations and you tell your group one is haunted with a lot of activity and one is not, chances are your group is going to find activity in the one you've told them.
There's so much activity, so much going on there. It was exhausting, is all I can say. We got quite a bit of BBP.
Well, all of us were first going down into the tunnel toward the boathouse, and you can hear the footsteps of the people walking along the tunnel when we first entered it, and off in the distance it sounds like we hear, "Who's there?"
To be honest with you, I don't think we'd do it again.
Well, one of the most remarkable incidents I witnessed during the whole investigation was the point where George Whittle appeared to enter Chris. And the reason I think this is so remarkable is Chris was pushing against the cameraman and actually fell down. When he fell down, he expelled smoke. Well, because I am a parapsychologist, I wanted to be sure of what I was seeing, so I stepped aside and blew out like that. It wasn't cold enough for smoke. Nobody else who was breathing in the area were expelling what you would consider to be on a cold night. So I'm not sure what it was, but to me it was remarkable.
Safely distanced from the shadows of Thunderbird Lodge, Chris and I met up to discuss the night's events.
I'm so pleased that we're now on the other side of the lake to Thunderbird Lodge. That was too much for me last night.
Yeah, it was definitely probably one of the most active nights we've ever had.
I mean, what's your overall view of what happened last night?
I would say from the reaction that everybody there, including you and me, that we definitely had some activity at Paranormal. I mean, a lot of activity. You know, for me, it was dramatic. For me, also, it was draining. I mean, I'm exhausted. I would like to believe that we did some good there.
Well, whatever happened, I mean, it was very eventful, but I just don't want to go back, if that's all right.
Yeah, I could see why.